Hey, it's me, Unapologetically T, and today is Christmas, so I'm gonna wish everybody a happy holidays. Um, I typically do not celebrate Christmas in the way that everybody else does. Um, Literally kind of like have a lot of Muslim ideologies when it comes to holidays, so I typically do things for holidays, but I know that I am not feeding into the capitalistic shit or if you're going to celebrate the holidays, I want you to realize that a lot of this stuff has been fused with pagan holidays, which pagan holidays are not the worst things in the world. Like, they literally have meaning to them and all that stuff, but it just all depends on whether you're into like how you view God and all that stuff, about whether you would like paganism and all that stuff. But to me, I don't really care. I just typically tend to not drink Kool-Aid that is presented to me. So yesterday, I definitely know, like, most likely Jesus wasn't born during this time. But since everyone's gonna celebrate this as his day, I literally have taught my child that, look, this holiday exists because of a pagan Christian merger. So, like, literally, we're supposed to be celebrating this day to celebrate Jesus' birthday. I rarely see any propaganda about it being about Jesus' birthday anymore. Like, I literally don't even see the manger set up when I ride past churches this time of the year, like, which is a big change from my childhood. This time of the year has really turned into this gift giving thing, and it's literally running our children. We're running our children, period. But from buying them things because of what we lacked when we were younger. But yeah, like, Christmas is definitely like, it's just feeding the capitalistic society, and I got to observe and watch that. I play into it too, so I do have a child, so I play into it a little bit. And yeah, so I got to observe and watch how we're all trying to buy each other's love during this season, or we're just buying gifts because we feel like we have to. A lot of money is going into the system, and Christmas time is one of the times of the year that the system really enjoys it. So I don't know. I just felt called to speak about that. Let's be mindful of what we're feeding into going forward. I've had a lot of reflection, a lot of downloads, a lot of growth, and I just felt called to say that, like, we gotta watch what we feed into sometimes. Like, we can't keep continuing to complain about how things are going, but yet we are feeding the very virus that's killing us. So sometimes you gotta, starve the flu. I think it's starve the flu. You feed the cold and starve the flu. Whichever way that goes. Sometimes you just gotta starve that shit. And that's me. I'ma speak how the fuck I feel, when I feel it, and I'm not gonna be silenced anymore. But yeah, this video might end up being long because it's a lot of different things that I have gotten to reflect on and during rest, and I'm still in rest mode. For me, rest mode for me. I'm typically the person who feel like rest is a sin, and it is so. No one talks about rest being a luxury to a black woman, and I'm gonna say a black woman. Um, I don't doubt that any other woman of any other race. I know definitely, like, Asian culture and Hispanic culture definitely correlates very closely to black culture, and So I don't doubt that other women of color, I don't doubt that, you know, there are some white women who probably struggle with rest, but I don't feel like any other culture besides black culture have their women feeling like luxury, like it's a luxury to rest. Like I literally I'm in this situation where has been called for rest since the moment I entered it. And I've had some weird ass people project some shit on me, like literally because of their own insecurities. Like I have had people offer me jobs, and it's like, bitch, I don't need a job right now. Anybody who knows me knows that I don't need to be back in a system right now. I've given and sacrificed all of me for a system, and I'm not doing it anymore. So going forward, to offer me a job to return back to this fucked up system is an insult to me. So like, that's, if you are a person and you're wanting to help or give me advice, don't do that one. If I want to return to a system, I have many accolades. I have a phenomenal work ethic. I don't need you to suggest that I return into a system that I clearly said I was being called to come out of. So that's that going forward. I'm sorry whatever projections were put onto you. Baby girl over here unlearning them all. So I don't need that. What I needed this year was rest, was coming back to myself. I needed to be able to find peace no matter my environment. I needed a lot of things, and it wasn't a motherfucking job. I feel like my ancestors have fucking worked blood, sweat, and tears into this system. And yes, of course, there are other people who were enslaved and mistreated, but nobody gives a fuck about the black person. Like, let's just say this, like, it's Christmas, and I just wanted to be raw and authentically tea. And black women are tired. We're tired of white women in the workplace. We are tired of white passing women in the workplace. We are tired of all people in workplaces who literally feed off of microaggression. They literally see the moment you come through the door, they see that light in you. They see that power in you. They see how wonderful you are, whether you see it or not. And the moment you step into those workplaces, their only mission is to seek and destroy you, to misuse and abuse you. And no one talks about this shit enough, how dangerous it is to have black women in job settings that are racist, and it's not hidden. We can see it, but it's hidden. And no one talks about how the black woman's soul is being harvested. No one talks about none of that. And like, literally, we're tired. We're tired of putting up with your bullshit. And for me to go back into a workplace underneath those terms, and I meet another person, whether they come in the color of black, white, whatever, I don't give a fuck what color you present yourself as. If you come with that bullshit, my fucking ass is going to be inclined to cuss you the fuck out, because I already have my 3 degrees, and I had them before the age of 24 or 25. So checkmate. Literally had the accolades that I needed before most people probably had life set up for themselves. Literally, before I had the accolades, my brain is my brain. God made me who the fuck God made me to be. And I did not need accolades. I wanted those things because I wanted to some kind of way prove that I could literally, you know, climb this fucked up ladder. And literally seeing that, like, I do not fit into this shit. I do not longer want to fit into this shit. If you want to continue to fit into this shit, like, continue. But don't complain when these systems are faulty and all that shit. Like, be the change you want to see. It ain't for me. I'm gonna be my own boss. I'm gonna try to marry up because at this point, the way I was going ain't going. So like literally, and when I say marry up, I don't mean on no gold digger shit. Like I'm gonna have to love him. Like I'm gonna have to love that person. Like I am not digging for gold, my nigga. I could survive off nothing. So I need both. I need the love to be there. I need the money to be there. I need the stability to be there. I need the trust to be there, the communication to be there. Like I need those things. I need the loyalty to be there. So yeah, but like that's no longer my goals or aspirations. That can be yours. And if I ask you for help, I consider that shade. I consider that fucking shade. And I'm sorry that whoever in your life, knew you, shaded you, because it probably came from them. But don't shade me with a job. I don't need a job. Matter of fact, white America owes black America because baby, we've done the work. We've done the work, and we continue to show up and do the work, and baby, we're tired. And you're like 5 seconds away from being cussed the fuck out. You're 5 seconds away from making racists scared again. You're 5 seconds away from a beast that you don't want to see, and no one has given us any fucking reparations. Asians have gotten reparations. Jewish people have gotten reparations in America. Who else? I said Asians because it's multiple. Native Americans have gotten reparations, but it was a piss poor offer. Like literally, Native Americans are right there next to black people. And for real, let's just all be honest that all these ethnic groups are literally black people. They've just been whitewashed and made to believe that they're not. And it's a sad day. And I don't know why I decided to talk about this on Christmas, but why not? You tell the truth, you shame the fucking devil. And like, I'm just so deep down inside tired of watching this shit. Like, it is so sad. But the Matrix is definitely crumbling, and it won't crumble the way you guys need it to until you just literally see it for what it is and say fuck it. Like literally, that's the answer. See it for what it is and saying fuck it. Stop having that if I can't beat them, I'm gonna join them mentality. You become a part of the problem. And yeah, and there's a lot of shit that just can't survive if we want a peaceful society. So like, this shit ain't just a one-man job. This shit is a collective job. And black people are tired. Black people are motherfucking tired. Our ancestors speak and live through us. They are tired. We do not... Look, I grew up, I wasn't gonna keep doing this shit. It was like, no. I'm gonna master this shit while I'm here. Hence why I keep talking about 33. Like, I'm gonna master this shit while I'm here. I will speak 33 all the fuck day long. 33 means volumes to me. But I will master this shit while I'm here. Why we keep passing this baton? Like, let's get this shit done. So, I'm gonna move on for that, because that just was... I never even planned for to have that conversation, so you get what you get. I really wanted to talk about black women and rest, and just not feeling like I deserve rest. Rest to me means I should be doing something else, and I made a poem about it, like, and it just flowed. It's like, rest to me feels like I should be doing something else. It does not mean to me that, look, you should just be. I never knew how to just be. It was either work, which as a teenager I had 2 jobs at least. Like, this was at least before child came in the picture, even after child came in the picture. I at least had 2 jobs. I kept myself going and busy and working towards these dreams and these accolades and what I wanted, these goals. Only to find out, like, at the end of the day, when you get them, you lose yourself sometimes in this like rat race of trying to prove who you are. Now, I don't regret anything in my life, anything in my story. I don't regret anything. Um, and here's why. Um, Although I went to college and I learned some things, I could never take away from the connections I have made. The connections I have made was phenomenal. So I don't take away from that. Even in workplaces, I don't take away from no level job I had. Look, I done worked at Kings Dominion. I done worked at McDonald's. McDonald's was dope. Um, and it was a stepping stone for me. And literally when I was working these jobs, like, I started out making $5.50. I then jumped up to jobs where I was making $10 an hour. And so as a teenager, I literally had jobs that could sustain me in life before I even fucking, went to college. So it was even a point where, like, mentally, like, my brain checked out of college, because it was like I'm already making enough money where I'm at, and I'm at the bottom level. So if I was to climb this workplace, I literally would be making more than what I would make with my college degree. So I almost dropped out, all that stuff, because my brain rationalized things. So it was like, make this make sense, because college is literally less about intellect and more about rigor. It's more about endurance. Will you be able to endure this? Like, all of us can learn. All of us can. If you put, like me with grammar. When I went to college, my grammar was piss poor. And it was like I had to teach myself these grammar rules that I literally refused to learn when I was in school. Like, I did not want to learn that shit. But when I got to college, it was like, this is the world that you're in. And, if you're going to write papers, they need to be academically sound and grammatically correct. So I literally bought books, Grammar for Dummies. I literally utilize tools around me. I utilize the writing center. I utilize so many tools around me to help buffer those things. And that meant that I didn't have the intellect. I probably had the grammar skills of a person new to this country. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I never liked grammar in school. I spoke broken English. Like, I never liked it. However, I was still highly intelligent. It's just a language difference. So I had to put forth more effort in that department. It didn't make me slow. I mean, the people I hang around, we call each other slow all the time and retarded all the time. Like, and there's no offense to us. If it's offensive to other people and I'm having a conversation with them, I wouldn't dare, say those things. But like, me and my crew, we are not on that overly sensitive things about words. So we literally say these words. However, when we're being serious about things, like, none of us are slow. We have different processing levels. Different people learn different modalities. So some people learn by seeing, some people learn by pictures, some people learn by doing, some people learn by listening, so your auditory skills. Some different people learn different ways. And then there's people like me. I can learn all the ways. Like, give me all the ways, and I'm that person that, like, it doesn't matter which way you teach me, I'm gonna get with your program. But not everybody else is like that. And that's when people start to call people slow and stuff like that. And it's like, it really doesn't exist. It's a processing thing. It is an interest thing most of the time. So I don't know why I went on this tangent. And I was talking to a friend yesterday, and literally we was talking about how the brain makes these connections, and they're like pathways. Your neurons are like literally opening up these different pathways to different conversations and different memories and different thoughts and all that stuff. It lets you know your brain works. So if you're a person who definitely like bounce around, don't tell people to keep the fuck up. And literally I was talking about rest though, but I got on that tangent. But yeah, that's a segue to something else. I don't know where. But literally, as a black woman, I didn't know what to do with rest. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Yesterday, rest for me was to get my black ass up and go to the mall. And initially, like, I wanted to go to the mall to do something for my child. It literally turned out I went to the mall for me, and I literally spent $5.50 and sat in one of those cheap ass massage chairs. And I'm gonna say cheap ass massage chair, not because the massage chair is cheap, but because the massage is cheap. And like, I literally am a person who know what a real massage feels like, and it is like I need it. Like, I miss that in my life. So I got to sit and do this massage and like just have a moment to myself. And it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment of rest, like just being. And then after I did that, I looked at jewelry. I love jewelry. I've always hated jewelry. You're gonna notice something about me. I hated the things that I love the most, so that those things would be protected. Like, those things would be protected. Or it was more of this thing of I had to deny myself those luxuries because they did not fit in my tax bracket, and not enough of us do that. Not enough of us deny ourselves of the things that we love because they don't fit in our tax bracket. It is called a budget. Try it. Don't live outside your means. But I love jewelry. I was the type of kid at a young age, I had jewelry. I remember one of my first pieces of jewelry that I like adored was this pendant from my earthly father. He was in the military, the Air Force, and he had went to Turkey, and he had brought back all of us a Turkish gold prism like chain, and it had my name in hieroglyphics, Arabic, and English. And so it was really, really dope. Someone ended up stealing. I lived in a neighborhood full of crackheads and all that shit, and some shit was brought in my house all the time. So who knows who stole it, who knows what happened with it. I would love to have that again. Whether I gotta go to Turkey and buy it myself, but find somebody who know how to do it, but yeah, I would love to have that again. But yeah, every time I would get jewelry, it would get stolen, it would get broken, it would get misplaced. Now that I'm learning what I'm learning about relearning what I'm learning about spirituality, sometimes some of that shit be happening because people want what you have. Sometimes that shit happens because of jealousy and envy. Not to make people paranoid and all that shit. If you know, you know. And if you ain't into this shit, log off. But a lot of times things would get stolen or broken off the just sheer jealousy and all that shit. So literally, I began to like safeguard, like, I don't really care about jewelry. I don't really, I don't really like that. So that was me oppressing myself. I love jewelry, and it was like a breath of fresh air to just sit and look at jewelry. People of other ethnicities might not understand why people that are deeply ingrained in their culture, whether you have stolen it or not, we literally love jewelry, gold, the golds, because it is in our DNA. Check your periodic table. This shit means something. So literally, your ignorance of black people like shiny things, the fuck we do, because we know what the fuck it mean, and and whether we know what it mean or not, we know. So yeah, I literally got to, just like dream and feel like, that wasn't even like the jewelry stores I went to was like a K's and what's the other one? I can't even think of the other one, but like I can remember K's because I got a lot of jewelry from K's, but those aren't even the jewelry stores that I really, really like. Like, like, hook me up with the Middle East. Like, hook me up with the Middle East jewelers. Like, those are the commercial jewelers. So, like, it allowed me to, like, know what I wanted again in life, like to know what I desire, what the things I really care about. Like, I love luxury, and I had to deny myself a loving luxury because I felt like to love luxury in this system meant to basically to be materialistic and a bad person, because the people who colonized us definitely suffered with greed. And my life thus far has allowed me to know, like, I do not struggle with greed. I know what to do with money. Matter of fact, I am overly probably responsible with money. Hence the reason this year I had to say fuck it and do what the fuck I felt like with money, because I never was afforded that opportunity, not from childhood, not from motherhood. Like, I never was afforded the space to be like, you know what, fuck it, life is beating my ass, I'm gonna go to Haiti. Like, life is beating my ass, I'm gonna go to Alexandria, a place that I know. Like, life is beating my ass, like, I am going to drive down south without a care in this motherfucking world. Like, and granted, I was being called to do these things, but it was my calling because I was so fucking uptight with the way money had to be spent when I was adult and when I was a child. Like, literally as a child, like, I felt like it was frivolous to buy things like shoes and clothes after a certain point. Like, after I got my feel of it, it was like, but what do I have to show for it besides a closet full of nice shoes, a closet full of clothes that I don't really wear, and because I'm working all the time. Like, so I'm wearing this uniform most days. So I just got to this point where I denied, and I'm pretty sure there's other timelines where I lived my life, baby. I can feel it. I can feel the timelines where I was living the life that I was supposed to live. and it's like, that is returning to me, like the things that I really love. Like, I got to do that window shop. I love clothes. I just love style. Like, I love clothes not because of the reason of keeping up with the Joneses. I love clothes because I love fashion. I do not subscribe to what everyone else is wearing either. Like, my regular dress down days is like tomboyish, like hood, graphic t-shirt, jeans, and some sweet shoes or something like that. But like, when it comes to like dressing up and stuff like that, I love fashion. I love nice fabrics. I love wearing some shit that nobody else has, and it doesn't have to be that it costs more. I can get it from the thrift store. I can get it from where the fuck ever. Like, I like to be different when I want to step outside and look nice. Like, I just want to be different. I want to be on some other shit that ain't nobody else on. So I love fashion. I love looking at other people who put that shit on. Like, I love fashion. So I love clothes. I love seeing a mannequin be dressed and me saying, hey, look, that outfit is cute, but it's commercial. I love that top though. Like, let's take that top and put it with something else. So I love those things, but because I lived a certain lifestyle, I did not feel comfortable. Like, if my fucking bills was this and my car note was this and all this shit was this, like, what the fuck I look like going to go get my hair done, go get my nails and toes done, go buy this nice ass outfit, and we about to get evicted. It didn't make sense. So I had to deny myself these things, which internally made me say, hey, look, this shit's stupid and I hate it. And now it's like I'm breaking out of that mold again. It's like, that shit is not stupid and I don't hate it. It's just that it was not practical for the tax bracket I was in, and that's okay. But let's not get too delusional with it, and let's realize that you really do love these things, and that's okay. So I was just realizing, like, I was breaking these molds of lack mentality and self-denial. And so, you know, and I love shoes. I love basketball shoes. I love flats. Only heels I love is comfortable heels. So I I'll say I love comfortable heels. And I don't like heels that make me too tall because I'm already tall. So I love comfortable heels. I just love shoes. I love boots. Oh my gosh, boots are one of my favorite things. Winter is one of my favorite times of the year. I love some nice boots and a nice sweater. I love sweaters. I love turtlenecks. I just love so much in the fashion world. I don't know, it's so much out here that I ain't got to play with, and I just cannot wait. I'm speaking my life into existence. Look, look, I have lived a life, and it is time for me to live another. Like, I am beyond ready, and even deeper than that, like, I literally came across, like, it was like I went to the mall yesterday for one thing, and it turned into a day of exploration for me. And I saw the picture booth in the mall, and it was like the cutest thing. I don't even know what I did with the picture. It's somewhere in this room. But I did post it to my Instagram, so you can find it there. But like, I did the little photo booth in the mall, and the reason this photo booth in the mall thing was like such a full circle moment is because as a teenager, like, me and my friends stayed at the mall. Like, the mall for us was a safe space that our parents didn't mind us hanging out in. So like, just about every weekend, like, we would get dropped off at the mall or either the movies by one of my best friends. I always just say her mom was a soccer mom, because she did not give a fuck if her kids asked her to take them and their friends somewhere. Like, I literally look at her like she's my mom too, and she literally would take us. Like, my mom in that situation that I was in, like, I used to have to beg and plead, all that shit. It was a non-supportive household over there. But her mama is like, shit, let me just ask my mom if she free, like, she'll take us. So we went to the movies, and she even, like, I think when we was like maybe like 14, 15, like, she literally would like chaperone us. But then after we got a certain age, it was like you got dropped off. And so we literally used to go to the mall and hang out and do shit like that. Even in our older, like, teen years, I literally have pictures of us doing that dumb shit. Like, and I say dumb shit because that's my terminology, but it's actually like the fun stuff that feeds the kid in you. And we literally used to do the photo booth. And I grew up and had my own kid and my own family and other children that I, took under my wing or looked after. And like, we would do these photos, whether it was at Dave & Buster's, whether it was in the mall, like, it didn't matter. Like, we would do these photos. I used to do it with my deceased partner. Like, we would go to an aquarium and we would do these photos. Like, so it was cool to finally, like, do this shit with myself. Like, codependency don't live here no more. Like, chain breaker. Like, just literally, like, was in the pictures like this, like, by myself. And I was laughing because I didn't even realize, like, that shit does show up. Like, I forgot it shows up. So I was like, I know, some people in the mall who has a personality as big as mine was laughing, and then maybe some people in there that has a stick up their ass probably felt like, what trash she is. And it's like, bitch, if you only knew. Which segues me into, I'm not going to segue into that yet, but just remember, I have to talk about the people that are holier than thou. And so, but yeah, like, yesterday was just a day of rediscovery. I love museums. Like, I am a museum girly. I am a history girly. I am a science girly, so you can take me to a science museum. I take myself there. That was something that I used to do with my child. We did museums very heavy when she was little, and periodically as she got older. But like, yeah, we go to museums. That was one of the things that I wish I could have done when I was traveling down south, like Louisiana has some good museums that I wanted to go to, but our funding was limited, so I couldn't do everything I wanted to. But it's still, that trip afforded me to know, like, I am an explorer. Like, I like to run the streets. I like to see what's out there. I am an explorer, and I don't say run the streets in a negative connotation. I say it in the way that I like to explore. I like to get out there. I like to meet random people. Granted, you know, I am not truly, when I say this, like, it's confusing. Like, I'm not a people person, but people love me for some reason, love, like, talking with me and all that stuff. And so it has made me somewhat of a people person. I just say this, like, I'm not a people person, but I am a people person with people who aren't full of bullshit. And you know, it's just like when people be like, I'm introverted, and I am introverted, but I am extroverted around those that are safe. So that's how I would put that. Like, I am an introvert, but once you feel safe, once I see that there is substance to you, I don't mind opening up with you. I don't mind talking to random people if I feel that right away. You can't fake energy. You cannot fake energy. So that's that. But yeah, like, it was just rediscovery. All these trips I have taken, whether near or far, has been a form of rediscovery, finding something new, mending, mending, a lot of mending, but a lot of, like, chain breaking, a lot of like, the cycles was already broken, but it was like I needed to finally, like, break these chains. And codependency no more. Like, it's like I am okay with going out, like, literally to myself. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was so peaceful. Then I went, and I made a mistake. I I wanted something to eat. Chipotle used to be one of my favorite places to eat, but I don't have a gallbladder, so that shit fucks my stomach up. And if you don't have a gallbladder, most people who have had their gallbladder removed literally cannot, and I say most because I do know some people it don't affect them at all, but we cannot process fat. For me, when I eat something that has a high oil content, it tears my stomach up. It makes me feel like I am on the brink of death. It kicks the IBS in. Like, it is a horrible experience for me. So I literally have been on this literally, I've changed my diet, like, completely. So I'm not eating real greasy foods, and my stomach hasn't been hurting. So, like, to have that experience, my daughter wanted it. She hadn't had it in a long time. So I'm just like, I'm about to die. I already knew it was gonna fuck me up. It was gonna taste good, but it was gonna fuck me up. So I did have that experience. But however, the girl who fixed my food, oh my gosh, she was awesome. She was phenomenal. God bless her. Literally, it was like yesterday. It was like the day for Latifah, and I hope it was a day for everybody out there. But it just felt like one of the smoothest days ever, of me just being with self. I went to the bookstore because I wanted to read Sister Soldier's new book, but then I'm like debating on whether I should read the new book, which I think that one, she got is it Life After Death? And then I think she got Love After Midnight. I think that's what the newest one is, Love After Midnight. I wanted to get that one because I seen somewhere, it was one of them books where I seen, and one of the comments was, it was like the, basically like a hood Dante's Inferno. And like, if you ain't paid attention, like, I literally reference my partner to be in Dante's Inferno. Like, he could come holler at me later about that, and I don't think he care. I think he know. But like, I literally referenced my experience with him as Dante's Inferno, and it was not a bad completely, you know, it wasn't a waste. It actually was. Sometimes we have blessings in disguise, and we look at our challenges as, you know, we can victimize ourselves in our challenges, but I literally look at that shit as a blessing. That broke my curse. that helped break my curse. So I could never regret him. I could never regret the situation with him. But I just thought it was cool that she has printed a book that someone identified it as being like a modern day or the hood version of a Dante's Inferno. And so that intrigued me. That was another thing too. I have read this book online by, I don't even know who the author is, like, oh, God help me. But that literally like sparked my reading again. It was like whoever wrote this like literally had people like me in mind, like the autistic attention deficit disorder, because like it jumped from this to this to this, but it all ended up aligning back together. Like you just had to hold that what thought. It's like, and I got through those pages. It was not a long, tough read, and but I actually wanted to read, and for me that was a big thing because I love reading. That is one of my survival and coping mechanisms when I was a child. Books were my escape. If you ever struggle with extreme abuse and you have a book, oh my gosh, you can escape in that world that you are reading about. So I feel like I did get burnt out from reading in college. I got burnt out, and it's like I am starting to like find that again. And like, granted, for work I was in a book club, like go figure, like I was in a book club, but I did have to mix it with Audible. So sometimes I would read my book while I'm listening to it on Audible because it helped me keep up while I was reading, so that I wouldn't lose focus. My comprehension skills are like fucking impeccable, but it's just like my focus and my concentration had left the building. So I can't comprehend if I can't pay attention. So it was a breath of fresh air to literally be able to sit with this literature that was written in such a way that it was so non-traditional, and I loved it. Like I loved the way it was written, and I don't know, it helped me. It helped me a whole lot. So just to have that being restored slowly but surely, like I wouldn't even say slowly but surely because that was phenomenal. Like but yeah, like it's been so much that I have to give like thanks to Jesus. I have to give thanks to the universe, God. I have to give thanks to my ancestors. I have to give thanks to deities. I have to give thanks to so much, which in turn all equals up to God to me. I believe in one source. It's just all flowing through us, and we are a collective. And I love that, you know, that I love that God saw me as worthy of something to save, something to bring back to self. I love that I can see why. I can see why I was worthy of being restored. I can see why. I love that. I just love that this journey has been grueling but possible. I love that I am being afforded a new opportunity to live life on easy. Easy was hard for me, and hard was easy. Easy is easy now, and I think once you master yourself, you realize that like easy should be easy. Easy should be easy, and whatever easy means to you. But I don't want to live life on hard anymore. I will live life on soft. And in order for me to do that, I do not need a man to afford me softness. I have to find softness within myself first, and I've been doing that. So I literally have found my own lane of softness, and know that once, God sees fit that I have a partner, like, my softness probably will be elevated even more. Like, because I can only afford myself so much softness with my tax bracket, and most of it is my mentality, though. Like, knowing that it's okay to rest. I have been in overdrive for 33 fucking years. I have lived life on fast and hard. I was never afforded the opportunity to stop and smell the roses, or I felt like everything would come crashing the fuck down. I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like it's the very opposite. If I do not actively make a decision to stop to smell these goddamn roses, to stop and take a picture of these beautiful ass clouds and these birds that flock, I am going to crash and burn. And so I literally see shit in the reverse now. So whatever role I had to play, whatever lessons I had to learn, I am grateful and happy for them. They make me who I am today. But I am also grateful and happy for restoration. I am grateful and happy for the smallest things in life. For me, I am a photographer. Like, literally don't have no experience besides being a camera put in my hand as a kid and learning and taking pictures throughout the years. I can catch a moment, and I can do it with a fucking phone. Like, I can do it with a phone. I did grow up with certain cameras. I loved cameras. Love the camera. I am the person that pulled the camera out and take pictures. I haven't been doing it as much as I usually would do it, but I'm definitely a photographer at heart. And those moments where I catch scenes or I catch backdrops of this beautiful earth, like this beautiful earth, like the sky is a backdrop to the earth, and I just catch those moments. That's peace to me. That's peace to me. And it's the little things for me. It's the little things for me. But it's also the material things for me. Like, it's the material things for me as well. So I think there's balance. And that was my Christmas gift. Like, to have these realizations and to just feel like, girl, you are worthy of whatever you desire. You are worthy of more than what you currently have. You are so worthy of anything you can think of or desire. Like, you are worthy. You have put in the work. You have came out of the pits of motherfucking hell. Like, many multi-dimensional levels of hell. You have survived. Glory be to God. And it's like, like, you will be where you deserve to be. So patience has been a theme for me. Patience. I can't hold you. I struggle with it, but I am literally breaking that chain. Like, it's all gonna work out at the end of the day. Patience, patience, patience. I definitely feel like my anxiety and my panic levels literally have turned into, what the fuck am I gonna stress out about this for? Like, it's gonna happen. I already had the premonition that it's gonna happen. I just want it to happen now. And it's like, girl, it's gonna happen. Like, just chill the fuck out. You actually holding it up because you won't relax. Like, so I'm just grateful for this afforded knowledge that I'm gaining. So I don't even know to say afforded, but I'm happy for this knowledge that I am gaining. And it's not that I didn't know it before, it's that I had to relearn it. And so when you live life fast and hard, it's hard to do these things. And it's actually ironic because compared to my deceased partner, like, I was the patient one in the relationship, and he was the one who literally could not sit down and wait. It's like he would ask God for these things, or he would want or need these things to happen, but he never knew how to just sit and wait. And it's like when he passed, I was given that energy, and it's like I don't want that energy. One of my strengths was to play the long game, and I don't want that energy of I can't wait it out. I can wait it out. I can trust God like nobody's business, and only I can define me. So I think that's the most beautiful thing right there. I'm gonna end with this segment of the video with only I can define me, and the definitions, the labels are infinite for me. So there we go. I am, and I enjoy being, and I love things. I love people. I love nature. I love everything. And that has gotten me in trouble because I love everything. And now I have found boundaries, and just boundaries. Just saying it. Boundaries. Everybody knows they have boundaries, but the hardest part about boundaries is enforcing them. So maybe one day I'll come on here and do a segment on boundaries, because the boundaries were loosey goosey at best. And it's like now this shit is a this is a barbed wire fence to those who do not need to be on this other side. Like, this shit is a barbed wire fence. There's an electric shock that your ass gonna endure. And there is poison on that barbed wire, because you do not get to fucking steal, touch, or take anything from me without my permission. Because if with permission, it's not taking, it's not stealing, it's not, disrespect. So if you come over here trying to force any fucking thing, you gonna have stupid ass consequences. So boundaries are something we all know we need, but it's hard for us to enforce. But I feel like once you learn to stop having loyalty to people who don't give a fuck about you, that's when your boundaries are able to be firm. I've had to let go of a person that is the person of my dreams. I've had to let that idea go. If the shit ain't healthy, it ain't fucking healthy. And I grew up as a teenager and knew that shit. Like, fuck you niggas. Like, you are not gonna drive me crazy. And then I ran into a motherfucking brick wall. I met my match. It was the match. I met my match in hell. And literally, like, all faculties went out of the window. Like, we're not doing that. I went through that already. Like, we're not doing that one. We're not doing that again. I think whatever God sends you should be crystal clear. It should be clarity with it. It should not be foggy water. Like, it should not be foggy water. If it is foggy water, it is a red flag. Flag on the fucking play. But yeah, I've had to let go of a lot of things and a lot of people and a lot of ideologies to get to this point. So that's my Christmas gift. I have my Christmas gift. I have returned to myself. I am not denying myself of a certain lifestyle, a certain luxuries, a certain people. Like, I'm not denying myself of none of that. I know who I am, and I know what I'm worth, and like, that's all I can say. I'm not settling for anything in life anymore. I can't hold space for people who haven't figured themselves out. I just can't. I know that everybody got to start somewhere, but that does not mean you should have direct access to me because you're figuring your life. Figure it out. And maybe after that, if things align, we can align. But I'm just protective over my peace. I want to thank everybody who donated to Charlotte and I to get us to Texas. Going to Texas was liberating. Every trip I took this year was liberating, and I did kind of like write a poem about it, but I don't know if I'm gonna post it. But me going to Haiti was me finding my heart. And I don't even mean like my heart far as love. I mean my heart far as like I ain't never been afraid of nothing. After a certain point in my childhood, it was just so much severe trauma. Like I was conditioned like nothing you motherfuckers can do can kill me. So like why the fuck am I afraid of anyone at this point? So literally I have found my heart at a young age, and after that point, like it was a force to be reckoned with. Like, and so I had to return to that. Like I had to return to like I ain't never been afraid of no fucking man on this god green earth. God taught me not to fear you niggas. Like niggas, bitches, I don't care who you are. Like I was trained to go. I was trained not to fear y'all. And you know, like it was nothing for me to be around motherfucking killers, drug dealers, and all the shit that society deems as evil, when the whole reason these people exist the way they exist is because society has forced them into it. When you oppress people, people have to figure out means and ways to make it. So is the killers and the drug dealers the problem, or is it the people who are putting this shit out there on the street? Like let's find a clue. So I literally, it was nothing for me to be around weapons and guns. Like I literally had a military background. Like I literally, you know, I had all these different backgrounds. Like my family was from the country. It was nothing for, you know, guns and shit to be around me. So like none of that shit scares me. Like that is my norm. That is my safe space. I actually feel safer with those type of people than I do with corporate America. Like corporate America scares me because I'm going to smack the shit out of you and end up going to jail. So like with the people like that, you know, we smack the shit out of each other. Like we learn to respect each other for whoever is the strongest. Like whoever learned the best lesson. Like it's a different world. It's truly a different world. And I feel like had the world been like it was for the hood, where there was consequences and street justice, we wouldn't be having to worry about this colonization shit. We would not have to be worrying about it what the fuck so ever. And I'm not inciting any riots. I am just stating the blatant truth. Like in the hood, you fuck around and you find out. You're going to fuck around and you're going to find out. And I bet you won't do that again unless you want to disappear. And that's how that shit go. Like and it's levels to it. But this other shit y'all got, like this shit where Becky can send me a motherfucking email being fucking passive aggressive and think that I won't smack the shit out of Becky. Think that I will not have motherfuckers pull up on Becky. Like, Becky gotta start playing safe. Like, Becky gotta start playing safe. Becky for too long Becky with the good hair has for too long been playing on black women and black men's top. I like to call out the white woman. White women like to call out white men. I like to call out white women that are fucked up because my ancestors want me to. My ancestors want y'all to know that, like, the worst person in history has not been just white men. It has been white women who were mad that their white husbands were fucking raping my ancestors. Like, we're fucking raping my ancestors. Now, granted, there were some love relationships there. There were some. But the gist of it was they were raping my ancestors. And then Becky bitch ass got a nerve to be mad at us. Becky, if you don't get your balls in your hand and beat the shit out your husband like we would, don't take that shit out on us. We're not going for it. 2025, we're not going for it. 2025, we're not going for it. I don't give a fuck how you handle it. You smack shit out of Becky. I don't care. But you can also document Becky and make her lose her job. You can put Becky on that motherfucking altar and make sure your ancestors don't turn her loose. Like, do whatever you gotta do with Becky. And then, there's some Karens that get, some bad rap. I done met some good Karens, and then I done met some fucking horrible ones. But I be always saying, like, her name is Karen because she cares too much. Like, she need to mind her fucking business. And so when you meet some Karens and some Kens, like, handle that shit. Like, but we're not gonna keep sitting through this shit. Put that name on the altar. Put it in the Bible. Do whatever you gotta do. Who do they ask? Pray to God. If you don't even believe in your own revenge, like, pray to God. God sees all. And I always say that. Like, now when injustice happen, I'm not lifting no finger. I'm not going to jail. Even though I am a crash out dummy. Literally a crash out dummy. But the lifestyle I want to live, I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. I'm going to give it to God. God sees all. And when I say God sees all and I say that shit, like, what happens next is because of you. It has nothing to do with me. But it has everything to do with you reaping what you sow. So there's levels to this. Like, you stay in your lane and you play in your lane, but don't judge other people for playing in their lane. Because this is my culture. My culture is to have an altar. My culture is to call on my ancestors and let them handle it. Like, this is a part of my culture. My ancestors been waiting to kick ass. And so I'd advise you to stop playing with me. I advise people to stop playing with people that are anointed and protected, period, because even when you going out here and you paying for spell work, you paying for these things that happen to other people, you even praying for that shit to happen to other people and they're actually innocent, and you the twisted one, that shit backfires and it's like worse than what you wanted for them. So play safe, be respectable people in all realms, whether it's 3D, spiritual, whatever the hell. Like, you need to have some respectability politics, or you're not gonna make it. Like, you will die off. And this is a morbid Christmas video, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I am letting it flow through. Just come on through. I am love and light to those who deserve love and light, and I am darkness with those who deserve darkness, but I am also still so very dark, and I love it there. I love it there. My darkness is safe. Plenty of people can vouch for that. Like, my darkness is safe unless you get it fucked up. So I don't have to be afraid of living in this darkness no more. That's my road. That's who it ain't even my road. That's my true essence. And I love it. I love that I can finally be myself and be okay with that shit. Like, I always say, like, when I was a teenager, when I was probably about the age of 17, I had it figured out. I will say I did lack some experience, some real world experience. And I think that's what I've been doing for the last 11 years. I have been experiencing certain shit that I already knew answers to. So now that I know what I know, and I know I have experience under my belt as well, like, I'm a force to be fucking reckoned with. And I think I want to, I don't know what I said I was gonna segue into, but I don't forgot. I'm gonna let shit flow. But as you can see, I am listening to jazz. That was another thing I had to rediscover. I love instrumentals. I love jazz because jazz can just be on in the background and you can just drift off. Yes. And I'm listening to this Motown jazz. And I just Googled it not Googled it. I just use YouTube, which YouTube is like a Google for me. But yeah, that's Christmas for me. I do desire partnership. And I say partnership because I've always known I wanted to have a teammate. I wanted to have a teammate. I want to have a teammate that's go around that is equally yoked with me. We are equally yoked. It does not mean that we have to be exactly the same. It just means that we are on the same motherfucking page in life. That's all I mean by equally yoked. Um, we ain't trying to change each other and none of that shit. Like, our core principles are aligned. That's what I mean by equally yoked. Our interest does not have to be exactly the same, but our core principles need to be aligned. Like, you need to know that I am free with spirituality. You need to know that you can't change me and I should not be trying to change you. I accept you as you are. But I need somebody that's wealthy. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I do not want another Build-A-Bear. I do not want a struggle buddy. I need somebody who can provide. I need someone who has mastered provision. I need someone who provides security. Because, like, when we say provision, there's a lot of things that I would want to be provided. I would want security to be provided. Like, I need to feel safe with you. I need to feel that there is stability in this. I need to be provided a safe space for trust, loyalty. Like, I need certain things, as well as my partner will need certain things. And I will hope as a woman, I can provide those things as well, which I already know who I am as a woman. I am the motherfucking safest space a man could ever want. Like, I am. And, I've had some moments in reactive abuse where I will fucking terrorize you. But, like, if you don't do stupid shit, like, and I don't mean like stupid shit like we didn't have a disagreement or argument. I mean, like, if you're not out here trying to fucking destroy me, like, then you don't have to worry about that destruction re-entering your life. Like, I'm definitely very nurturing, very loving, sometimes to a flaw. So, like, I really had to learn to have boundaries. Had to learn that my identity cannot just be yours. My identity is mine. Your identity is yours. And we just have to know. And yeah, because I don't want to hope. I need to know that our identities like each other and that we are not trying to mesh and meet the other. We are just us and we are just beings. So it's a lot of things that last year I had no idea what the fuck I wanted. I went from I was scared to motherfucking death. Like, I was scared to death of men. Like, literally scared to death. Then I went from, do I even want a husband? Like, because I had just did time. I just did 11 years. Like, I literally had already had a husband, and it just didn't go. it didn't go the way that, you know, I always dreamed of. And it's like, if I gotta sign another contract with this, I'll pass. Sign me up for the whole package. Because being an honest wife is not for me if it gotta go that way again. And it's like, that came from fear and baggage from that relationship. I don't have that shit no more. Like, that was what me and him had, for me and him to grow, for me and him to learn what we needed to learn about each other and ourselves. And I thank God for that experience, but I will not. That fear and that trauma and that shit has been worked with, and I will never project that shit to, you know, someone else. Someone else is someone else. That experience is going to be completely different. But then I went from, you know, well, I'm afraid of commitment. I'm afraid of what that's going to look like. And I went from, well, I'll take companionship. You go to your house, I go to my house. And, like, you know, do I want kids? Do I need kids? If you got kids and when I got kids, like, you know, you just do you and I do me. Like, and that really wasn't what I wanted. That was me settling so that I wouldn't get hurt. And, it's like, now it's like I've gotten to this point where, like, I didn't even want to be with nobody no more. Like, fuck it all. Like, fuck all y'all. Like, fuck it. And it's like that was out of a place of anger. Like, it's just like, am I ever gonna get what I actually want? And so now that I've worked through and processed that, it's all fear. Like, all of that shit was fear. And it's like, I'm not afraid of none of this shit no more. Like, I trust God, and I trust that what's meant for me will be for me. I'm not chasing. Um, I am going to simply just be. I am going to get out of the house more. I am going to take care of myself, like, first and foremost. Then that's one of the things that that's my revelation as far as a partnership, which is a marriage, which I want to have more kids. And I'm going to stare in the camera and say, I literally want to have more kids. That has always been my thing. I am a mother. I am a mother. I am a nurturer. I love children. I am a teacher. I love kids. Anybody knows Tifa love the kids. So I do want to have more kids, but I was afraid. I raised Charlotte by myself. And I did have to help Adante, but the consistency, it wasn't still what was ideal to me and what was ideal for what I felt like a child needed. But Charlotte got what she needed for what she needed in her life. And I have to start, like, seeing that for what it is. Like, she got what she needed for what path she's taking in life. And I went through what I went through so that I won't go through that again. But yeah, I was scared to death to raise a child by myself again. So I kind of started denying myself, like, well, do you want kids? Do you want that? And do you want to start over again? Because, like, baby, like, in less than 4 years, like, mine's going to be grown. And it's like, yeah, if I meet the man of my fucking dreams, I want his babies. Like, I want his babies. And it's not even that I want some us. I want a legacy with the man that I love. Like, I want that to continue on. And his children will be like my children. That is the type of person I am. I don't give a fuck if they're grown. Like, look, what do you need from me? I can't love your father and not love you. Like, what do you need from me? It's not even me projecting that, I'm coming in and I'm going to be your mom. Like, no. What do you need? It takes a village. What do you need from me? How can you utilize me to your best benefit without misusing me? So I'm just that type of person when it comes to relationships, kids, and all that shit. So, like, I had to literally find myself. And I'm thanking God that, like, you did not put a man in this mix. You did not put a man in this mix. Because, boy, I probably would have ran that man crazy. I feel like you did put a man in this mix, but I just don't know who he is. And I probably ran that man crazy. I don't mean to laugh. Just know that if I ran him crazy, he was running me crazy too. Because that's how that worked. But yeah. It's like, yeah, I know I want kids. I want more than one. My biological clock is ticking, and I would like to have the rest of my days to the rest of myself. So, like, let's, God ain't rushing you, but, let's do this. What else did I learned that in the beginning of this journey, I was just so confused and conflicted. Yeah, I learned too that, like, I don't want companionship has to be within a marriage, but I don't want just these separated parts. I want someone I could come home to. Like, I want somebody I can come home to. I want somebody I could travel with. I want somebody who I can support what they want to do and they can support what I want to do. I want someone that it is okay for us to hang out with our own groups of people. It's okay for us to hang out together. It's okay for us to have our clingy, because I love when I love you, I want to be with you, but I require space too. So, like, I want someone who understands that, like, it's okay for you to cling to me. Like, when I first did these videos, I talked about how I hated to cook. some people might have thought like when I said I hated to cook and clean is that I don't. No, bitch. I clean and I cook. I just hate to do that shit. And that is even something that has kind of like dissipated from me, is that I don't hate cooking. I don't like when someone thinks that cooking is my role. Like that shit makes me have hatred for cooking. Like I actually cook from scratch. I do sometimes need a recipe for something that if I don't know how to cook it, like, but I can make that shit taste scrumdiddlyumptious. I cook with love. And that's why I don't like cooking, because if my heart is not in it, that shit is gonna taste trash. And then I'm not gonna want to eat it, and then everybody else eating it, and even if they do think it's good, like I'm pissed off because I'm tired and broke down and y'all eating my shit, and I can't even enjoy it. So like my hatred towards cooking came from me being the sole cooker and being a sole provider. Like it's like, why is all of this on one person? And like with cleaning, I like to clean certain times. I like to clean, and certain times I don't fucking feel like cleaning, and I am okay with that. Like I would definitely love a husband who was not spoiled, and like he literally had to cook. He literally had to clean for himself. Like, so that shit can be some it can be an even exchange. Like it ain't just one thing on one person. And I also said I would like to have a wealthy husband where shit, we being burnt out. Like it's times where we can just be like, call somebody else to come and do this shit. Like but I will say that I would want balance. I would want to do sometimes my own laundry by myself. Because I just don't want to be, too dependent on somebody doing everything for me all the time. But I would want balance with it. And then I don't know how I feel once I had these kids, because Lord, I did not have the support I should have had. I was going to school, I was working, I was washing the clothes, folding them, I was like doing this shit. And so like I would love to see what it feels like to be able to just focus on being a mother, because I did not get to do that. And I literally still breastfed my own child till probably like she was 8 months. I would love to breastfeed for at least a year. I feel like, I don't know, they say 2, but I don't know, we'll see. I would at least like a year. And so they're starting to eat some solids and shit. But yeah, like I would love to have natural childbirth again. I felt like I missed out on that experience of sharing it with a partner, like literally, the partner being in the room, us exchanging this goddamn pain instead of me feeling it by myself. Like, woo. But yeah, I would love to have natural childbirth again, God willing. I just want, I haven't even talked about like personalities, because I feel like as long as that person is free with being themselves, like I am free with being myself, we'll click. We'll click. I'm goofy as fuck, so a nigga gonna have to know how to laugh. But I'm also like, I could be dry humor, I could be all different types of humor, so like it'll be fun. It's never a dull moment with me. And this is not an advertisement, this is just me thinking about my growth and how I started out in this shit. And it was just like, I want a man, but I don't want a man. And now it's like, yes, I want and I need a man. And I'm gonna say that very strong and clearly. A lot of fucking women are something like, I want you, but I don't need you. Sir, whoever the fuck you are, this can be a part of the advertisement. Now this is a calling. Whoever the fuck you are, I want and I need you. There are certain things that a man provides in a relationship that if a woman has never experienced a real man, then that's why she's saying she don't need a man. I need a man. I am tired of being my own man. I am happy and I thank God that I was able to carry all this weight on my own. But I'm tired of being my own man. I need and want my husband. Once my husband is revealed to me, I need and want that man. I'm not in this jaded state. I'm not in this hard place to say that I don't need my husband. That is a fucking lie. Um, I definitely need him. And you know, until then, I have myself. I have God that walks with me, and so many others. So I literally do know though, like I need and want my man. Like I don't want my man to feel like I don't need and want him. And I think that he needs and he has to need and want me also. And this is not in no toxic obsessive way. This is just like masculine needs femininity, and it doesn't matter whether it's male or female. Partnerships literally do well when it is masculine and feminine energy matching each other. um and you do have some that do well, that has other dynamics, but like I said, this has nothing to do with true like gender. So like if you LGBTQ plus, like literally take the genders out of it and think about the feminine and masculine energy. Like I need and I want that masculine energy. Like I need to feel protected and not feel like I always have to protect on my own far as this 3D world. I got your back spiritually. Like I got your back spiritually, and I know that any man that I get has mastered both masculinity and femininity. I feel like Nemo. And then femininity. Literally, he has mastered that because I've had to master that. So God would not pair me with someone who is not equally yoked. However, just because we have mastered certain things does not mean we should have to foot the whole thing by ourselves. So literally, I'm at that point. And like I said, I'm just going to start going out more, doing me more, and still trying to find, you know, not even trying to find my way, just listening to my way, listening to my calling. Um, Easy missions from here on out. I retired that hard shit. Like, and me, like, even with me going to like Texas and stuff like that, that was fun. That was like, wasn't a hard mission. That was fun. Um, and I did it off of a budget that was like pushing it, like literally pushing it. But I kept my faith, and I literally did the trip coming back. I did that trip. It was a 21-hour trip, and I did that trip, and I don't know how much actual time it took, but I took only one break, and that was like a 3-hour rest break. And literally did the trip like nonstop. So yeah, so that was fun. I love driving, taking road trips. Like that shit is some shit I love. And I don't know, like I even got to go on a plane this year, and like that has been a fear, like a fear of heights. And it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It still was like, it's the turbulence. Like it's the turbulence, but it wasn't that bad. Like once that equaled out, and did I love being in the clouds? I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I loved the shots that I was able to take. Like I got to see rainbows in the clouds all the way up there. Like that was dope. It's just, you never know what you're gonna see in the clouds. So like I am definitely a window seat person. Um it was dope, but I think I love driving. I think flying would be for, you know, stuff that I need, you know, quick access to, but I literally love the experience of driving and stopping at different places and seeing different scenic routes that I have not seen. Um, just traveling through the different states. Like I got to go through you know, Memphis and all that shit. Like, it was just an experience. Like, and Memphis is home. I really have to like go back to Memphis and actually just be there and like just be there. Louisiana, I always talk about how that's home to me. Man, I got to go through Arkansas. I got to go through Arkansas. I always call Arkansas Arkansas. Arkansas. I got to go through Little Rock, which as a kid, like, I always knew Little Rock was putting that work in. Like, shit, y'all be sleeping on these country towns. Like, shit. I always say, like, I grew up part city, part country, but not part major city. But we were city country. And so when I did used to go to the country, because my family was originally from the country, so like when I would go to the country, see family members, cousins and stuff like that, literally all the same shit. We just all the same people, like down to like me moving out here in rural Virginia. Literally I've always knew, like, I don't know if they want to be called rednecks, but I really don't care. Like, redneck white people are us. Like, most of them are us. Even if their ideologies are a little warped, far as you know, the war, and like, because a lot of us do a lot of progressive, because I don't even identify as progressive. I do not identify as conservative. You are not going to box me in. How about all these politicians are trash at this point? Not all of them, excuse me. Most of these politicians are trash and sellouts, and they're basically puppets. And the quicker y'all learn that, the better it'll be for y'all. But anywho, I don't identify with either one of them. I literally can find great points and views in both. So I think one of the disconnects with like rural white people is that they typically have more conservative views. They typically are still in support of the Confederacy, which for black people is like, but y'all wanted us to still be slaves. Like, how can you support that if you still want us to be slaves? But at the core of it, the Confederacy, that's why history is important. The Confederacy wasn't just about just keeping slaves as is. They were, but the Union was just as fucking wrong. Like, both sides were wrong. Like, the Union just basically wanted to make you modern day slaves. Industrialization, like, pay you very cheap labor and they get the big bucks. It's still slavery, motherfuckers. Like, anyway, I don't know. Maybe one day soon, please, real history will be taught. And one thing that rural white people did know was that having a centralized government would mean that they would have too much power, and that's what we're looking at today. So they did know something, but both white people were wrong on that. You should have fucking free or close to free labor off the backs of the lower class. And once we all realize that shit is wrong, maybe, you know, should have changed. But I always like to say that the system was designed to beat the system. However, there are some good bones in this system, and I think that the system needs to be, you know, redesigned. No, it's like me. It needs to be restored. It's like there's some good bones here. Let's restore this to what it actually should function as and what it actually should look like. Literally, because I did always feel like burn that shit to the ground, but it's like, no, the system is flawed because it's rigged, and we can definitely unrig it. We definitely can unrig it, and it's already unrigged. It's just people need to stand up. what is that? How high? When he was like, stand up for your rights, moving up, moving up. I'm retarded. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I don't even know why this keeps spilling out. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this. But yeah, I stand with, the rural white people. Like, I definitely think there is some unlearning that needs to happen, or some teaching that needs to happen, because I think we're all really on the same page. It's just that we have different textbooks with different information, and I literally see struggle in them, and I see that a government was not kind to them, just like it wasn't kind to us. Just from my daughter being in this system, we talk about urban areas in their schools, but we do not talk about the lack of funding, the lack of structure, the lack of a lot of things that lacks in rural areas. School needs to be looked at differently for rural areas. Rural areas have a different culture. So, like, why is school looking the same as it does for in a city, that it does for a rural community? Literally, they are literally only allowing 3 days, and this is for the state of Virginia, but this is for this community that we're in. They allow these kids to miss motherfucking 3 days a year without penalty. Once they miss 3 days, they get threatened by truancy. Why the fuck is you locking people up for their kids not going to school? Why aren't you trying to figure out how to make children want to go to school? Or why aren't you realizing that this is hunting communities, this is farming communities? Literally, some people, families are literally like, they're helping each other out. That's gonna be their life if they choose it. Then I also look at it like, there's not a lot of college prep in these areas, so like it needs some work. And like, if people are not getting locked up in the city, why the fuck is people getting locked up in the country? But I think this is a funding thing, right? They need people to come to school for funding, which it doesn't really look like the funding is doing what the funding should be doing. So I don't know. That definitely needs to be discussed with some people who really live out here, and really, I can only see what I can see from the outside looking in, but it's some people who really live out here and have lived this life. Their kids are living it. Kids should be in these conversations, all that shit. So, but yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it whatsoever. I had a social worker pop up at the house, like, bitch didn't call, didn't say, on my way. Like, who? That shit will get you fucking cussed out like so quick. That is so rude. Like, you just gonna pop up at my house, and like, I don't know. It's boundaries. And boundaries for me. Like, boundaries. That was pineapples for me. I was just like, okay. And granted, like, I'm happy that, like, I let the school system know, like, me and her were going through grief cycle, all that shit. They did not care. They did not care. I did not send notes, but I did let them know we was going through some shit. And then it's kind of weird too, because like, far as the classroom absences, I think they count it as your absence for each block. And so it's like your absences really pile up there. And it's like, what happened to the days of makeup work? And they do got like a program where you literally can make up the days that you miss. However, it's like, if the child actually makes up the work that they missed and they're not failing the class, and what's the problem? What's the real problem? But I think we have a system that is based off of unrealistic views, is based off that culture that I am talking about, that I felt like I'm not afforded rest. Like, it was an award growing up to have perfect attendance, and guess what? Perfect attendance just is there are some people who have it, and they're very rare. Like, and then there's some people who literally need mental health breaks. They need, when someone dies, they need more than a week or 3 days. They need sometimes a year, like the fuck I did, and I still might need more. Literally, like, I literally think the way we look at ourselves in this world is just god awful. Um, we're not viewing ourselves as, I don't think we view ourselves realistically that we need these breaks, we need these times to ourselves. And it doesn't mean that we can't do it. Look, I had 7 close people die on me consecutively. So there was no breaks or reprieve. Like, it literally, like, was this year this person died, this year this person died. Like, even before the full year could come, this person died. The dog fucking died. Literally lost all these close people. And that's not all the people that passed away. I had a cousin who passed away, my uncle's grandson. So my uncle that was close to me, his grandson ended up dying in his sleep shortly after he died. And I lost a cousin to suicide, and it breaks my heart to this day. I did not get to go to his funeral. I did not get to go to his funeral. I was doing my own, I had my own shit going on. But I had to grieve that too. Like, I had to grieve that too. And not only did I have to grieve that, like, he literally killed himself because he didn't want to go back home to his mom. Like, and I feel that. Like, I feel that shit wholeheartedly. Do people realize, like, what that shit speaks volumes. I would rather take myself out than to return back home to you, bitch. Because that's how horrible you were to me. That's how fucked up you were to me. To go back to you, I'd rather face death. I'd rather face the unknown. I'd rather be in peace. Literally. And then when he passed, she had nerve enough to let somebody tell her that he was weak because he killed himself. And it was like, no, bitch, you was weak because you was a weak ass motherfucking mama. You treated all your kids fucked up. There's a lot of sexual abuse going on in their house. A lot of fucking weirdos in and out your fucking house. Your house literally is like a fucking makeshift crack house. It just ain't in the goddamn hood. And then when your kids like to be around hood ass people, you talking about you don't know why they like to be around hood people or why they want to be with somebody in the projects. Like, bitch, you raised hood kids. You just didn't raise them in the hood, but your house was the trap house, bitch. Like, bitch, you was a piss poor mother. And you want shit, bitch. Like, your son killed himself because he didn't want to come back home to you. And you let somebody utter the words that your son was weak? Like, the fuck? Man, it is so many cultures that it is death before dishonor. You have to literally take yourself out before you shame your motherfucking family. This nigga said, before I go back to this woman, I will rather face death. I would rather face God's judgment. I would rather face the unknown than to return back to her. And I felt that shit before I was put in this situation. I felt that shit. Like, I felt that shit more, probably not more than his siblings did, because they literally got to deal with this bitch. But I felt that shit. Like, and who knew that I was gonna have to return back to my hell? Look, I told y'all, I would rather been homeless. If I did not have Charlotte, I would literally be traveling the world right now. Like, I literally would be just having one of those lives where baby girl is just like going from place to place, and that would have been it. But I have a child that I had to think about, and I had to come back here, and I'm happy I did have to come back here because it was cycle completion for me. It was that final piece that, like, shit, you can't come. You can't come where I'm going. Like, I don't owe you nothing. You don't owe me nothing. I don't owe you nothing. Like, you can't come. I cannot sit here and have this undying loyalty to you because you chose to have a child and you've held over my head that you've made these sacrifices and all this crazy shit. And yeah, I don't owe you shit. And I release you. I release you. And I think that was like my last piece to my puzzle, was like, I release you. And now that I release you, I fear nothing and I fear no one. And I was able to find myself finally when I stopped focusing on trying to have a relationship with a person who tried to destroy me just because of titles. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I've literally experienced some shit. That the videos is the tip of the iceberg. So there's so many stories that I have yet to tell, and I will save that for a book, a tell-all book. Um, but yeah, there's so much that I have yet to tell, and you only know maybe a third. So, um, I am here. It is Christmas. I want to say that, if you celebrate Christmas, think about why you're celebrating Christmas this year. Think about what gifts you have been afforded, what blessings you have been afforded this year. Literally, this was based on Jesus being born, which Mary and Joseph had to seek, safety and refuge. I think, was it Nazareth? I think so. And there were 3 wise men that came to visit Jesus and gave gifts. Frankincense, myrrh, and I forgot the other one. I told you all this shit is up in here, but like I haven't used it in a long time, so it's still in here. Just gotta brush up on it. But that's where Christianity and paganism like merge together. Like, that's where the gift giving is supposed to correlate with the 3 wise men giving gifts to Jesus when he was born. And literally paganist. You need to just research the word pagan first of all. Research the word pagan and find out what it means. Then you will start to see that a lot of the traditions pagans had, it actually correlated to the earth. It was aligned to the earth. There were some weird traditions and practices, the deeper you get into it. However, there was some that really made a lot of sense. This was the time of like celebration. Celebration. All know that winter brings death. So like people are literally celebrating different shit. Santa Claus, that has some roots in paganism. They've done the movie like Krampus. Also, if you want to look at it in a religious standpoint, Saint Nick, you can research Saint Nicholas. There's so many different variations of why Santa Claus exists. So yeah, I warned you to do research and think about what angle are you celebrating Christmas from. Even down to the lights and the Christmas trees. Like, a lot of people don't even think about, like, why am I putting this Christmas tree up? Like, literally pagan traditions. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but you should know what you're doing. You should know what you're actually, like, celebrating. Like, the lights mean something. The tree means something. Kissing under a mistletoe, like, it means something. These are pagan things. And, once again, pagan things are not evil all the time. Like, you gotta use discernment and learn things that you're doing. So that's that. Christmas is the time of year where people should be happy, but it's the time of year where some weird shit be happening too. So stay vigilant. I will go ahead and head on out. I thank God for my growth, and I am going to continue to be patient and wait for the things that I deserve. I deserve the most. And I'm gonna wait on those things and just focus on, my business, just focus on pulling myself up financially. Unless God want to send that man in. Like, if you want to send that man in, I ain't got to worry about that. Like, I would take that too. Like, he can come save me. Like, I have no problem. I used to have a problem with a man coming in and saving me, but I have no problem. Like, come rescue the fuck out of me. Like, call me Peach. Call you Mario. Like, come get me out of this fucking castle. Like, I will love you. I will not hold it against you. I will receive it. I will receive it. So, but you know, until then, I gotta figure out how to keep this money flowing. So, yep. But come rescue me, like whoever you are. Wherever you are. And I don't mean you weirdos. I mean the one that God has chosen. And the one that I have chosen with God. So I don't mean you weirdos.